welcome to Real Horror. This is a show where we review the horror movie of the week, and this week we're reviewing The Voices, starring Ryan Reynolds, and this is free to watch on Tubi if you find yourself interested after the show, or hopefully you've already watched it and can follow along in the chat. But I want to thank everybody who tunes in to see this and anybody who shows up in the chat or watches later. I appreciate your time. And also thank you to my guests for being here. Tommy, how's it going tonight?
I'm not really sure who Tommy is, but I see that this is Sean Estep in the chat. Welcome, buddy. I hope that you're doing okay. It's good to see you. This is a wonderful tale about self-discovery and what you could do if you're not doing bad things. And there are people out there who will make you do bad things. Oh, you're damn right they are, dog. Get off the screen, you wimp. Let's get out there and kill some Trina.
Okay. Vinny, how's it going tonight?
Oh, it's going fantastic. I can't wait to talk about this film. It's about crazy people, psychopaths, murder, death, severed heads. It's my favorite subject.
Same. Glad to have you.
Yeah, no, this was a really entertaining movie in such a disturbing way. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Are you trying to say something to me, Bat? I'm a cat. I will eat you.
And Draven, how's it going tonight?
It's going good. Yeah, this is like one of my favorite parts of the movie, just because I like musicals and yeah. And the movie's great. I forgot how good it was. It's been a little bit since I've seen it, but it still holds up.
Yeah.
Good for you, buddy. I'm glad that you like that dancing bit. That's awesome. Way to be a good guy.
That was a great. That was awesome. That end like credit scene or whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah,
and Jesus shows up.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about The Voices, like I said, and this movie was made in it came out in 2014, and it had a budget of 11 million. And it brought in 2.2 million at the box office, so not that great. But
what you're forgetting about? There's all the money we made from all the extras that we killed at the end of this one.
It's surprising that the box office didn't do better at the box office because it got overwhelmingly positive reviews. But I'm guessing it was because it came out in only select theaters.
I think so. I think it's a couple. I think it was the subject matter, and a limited kind of release, and there might have been something else that came out around that time.
No, you win some, you lose some. You can't get them all.
Jetty, that's horse shit, Jetty. I think we need to kill them all, Jetty. That's what I'm saying.
Sean Estep, I want to thank you for coming here tonight. It's awesome. Appreciate it.
And be even more awesome, remember to share out that link and do the right thing for Trina and the stream and the voices and me, the lone voice of reason on this panel among all these heathens.
So we'll start with Bosco. Did you have a favorite part?
The favorite part was every part that I was in, except for that part that the cap keeps mentioning about the minivan. I want to let everybody know at the end of this film, I did make it all the way down the street and got picked up by a loving family, and I did not die by a minivan. Screw you, cat.
That's good to hear. I was rooting for you. Vinny, did you have a favorite part?
Yes and no. And if I say it, it's going to be very disturbing. I think it's when he picked up the English broad and he was telling that joke.
So you like when he killed Paul Fiona, you dirty, dirty boy.
Well, it's how it was presented, because here's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, the way that they kind of set it up, it's more of like he was like this kind of autistic person and stuff, and he just things weren't clicking properly.
Mhm.
And then when that happens, it's like, oh no, he really is a psycho. And like there's the sheer fear on her face when he's like, after the deer came through the window, and he just turns to her, he goes, Lucifer. She goes, what? The fourth angel. Like, I'm like, oh my god, this is
I'm really
fantastic.
starting to like this guy. You should always make sure he's part of the panel.
That was probably my favorite part too, Vinny. That whole scene, because
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, everything's going all nice and stuff, and then boom, this deer crashes through the window, and then he just tries to kill them. Like he tries to lighten up the mood and doesn't kind of go the way he
Well, it's
expected.
not only that; it's just that there was your big reveal that he's a psycho because
Mhm.
even like he accidentally falls on her with the knife, and like I mean,
Before we start breaking down the whole movie, maybe you should ask Draven what his favorite part is.
oh yeah, we're not breaking down the whole movie. I'm just saying that scene because she asked what my favorite scene was, and that's it, and that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Draven, that I think you said that was your favorite part as well.
Yeah, that's probably my
Yeah.
favorite part, other than like the him like just talking to the heads and stuff.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if I were to say what my favorite part is, it would be hard for me to narrow one part down because I think that my favorite part of the movie was the fact that you don't really know what's going on at first. You
Mhm.
kind of think that like, oh, he's just a guy who hears voices, and then you don't really know what's going on yet. And then when you finally find out, I guess that would be my favorite part, is when you finally like really find out for sure that, oh wow, that's what's going on.
Well,
Mhm.
here's the thing that I think maybe some people might miss on this. There was actually hints about how deranged he really was early on when he was sitting in that restaurant and he was talking to the fish
Hmm.
and answering himself back. I mean, there was hints of it early
Yeah.
on.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
but I think the big reveal was that scene in the car after the deer went through. Because it's like
Yeah.
it wasn't just that it was an eerie, creepy, dark joke. It's like, oh no, we are looking through the mind of a serial killer, basically, and how they view things.
Yeah,
You
that-
know you're gonna like it when you start killing.
that and then like seeing that what the viewer is seeing isn't exactly what he's seeing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, Gap After Dark. Thanks for coming. It's great to have you here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this movie really is kind of underrated. I think the way that they did this movie was really impressive because, you know, like you mentioned, we see this movie at first through his kind of clouded mind, like how he is kind of like in this state of denial, right?
Yeah.
And everything seems normal. You know, his apartment looks clean and he just looks like a normal guy who shows up to work and everything. And then you don't really see the truth until he takes that medicine that the psychologist keeps telling him that he has to take.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then when you like, he's like kind of having like these sleepy eyes that they show. And then you see the real state of the apartment and I was left thinking like, whoa, wait a minute. So does this mean he's done this multiple times already? Because of all the like containers and everything in his apartment. And it was just a trip. That scene was a trip for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I really like that too, because that was that whole thing of like when he takes the medication, he sees the reality and the voices stop and everything, and then he sees how dark and alone it becomes for him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's great too, because that's something that normally I would kind of be against, but I loved it for this movie that they kept showing the same shots over and over. The garbage bags that were kind of shoved in one corner, the stacks of all those things. I mean,
Mhm.
the complete mess, the shit all over the floor, the pet shit.
Yeah.
Like it's you could see it's very what do you call it? Jeffrey Dahmer like.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I
Yeah.
got
Well,
Hoarder
yeah.
vibes too.
Yeah. It was,
Well,
it
yeah,
was,
yeah, you know what? Another thing that many of you humans might have missed about this one, it speaks about the duality of man. I am the good guy sitting on his shoulder, and Mr. Whiskers is that son of a bitch devil sitting on the other one. Watch what you say, dog, or you're gonna wind up in a bag too. See, exactly what I mean about that guy. No class.
That is so true, and that's
Jerry.
actually I took some notes while I was watching because I watched these movies a few times for these reviews, and today I was taking notes for the stream tonight, and that's actually one of the things that I wrote down was how Bosco the dog was kind of like the good voice in his head, and the Mr. Whiskers was kind of like the devil on his shoulder, and I love the way that they did that, like a cat and dog, the opposites, and
Mhm.
and yeah, I this there was a lot of thought that went into this movie. It's like I said, I really feel like it's underrated.
Well, here's one of the things that I was kind of wondering. I don't know if you guys are wondering this too. I mean, when we start off, he's sitting there and he's at the Milton Furniture and Faucet International, and everything is so clean, everything is so bright, and everything looks so great in there with their nice, clean uniforms. What does it look like in reality? Because we never actually seen that place he was working at. Like, how dingy and dirty was that place that he was working at? I was wondering about that. Seeing the way everything else looked, how nasty was that?
I was curious about that too, because I want to know like the rest of how his world was, because I mean I think he did. This is one of his best acting performances because it wasn't regular Ryan Reynolds. You could see
there's this and one other that are really good that he's done.
Yeah, you could see it in this photo alone, like that lost look in his eyes, and he had a couple of parts where he broke down in a really good way, where it's like holy shit, like. You could feel bad for him, but you also know that he is a sick, twisted individual every possible step of the way. From what he was kind of forced to do, what made him like that. I mean, the way that they kind of unfolded the story was brilliant. Even was it Lisa? Yeah, Lisa, the Anna Kendrick's character. Like, I'm not normally a fan of that actress, but she did a great job as well in this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
The one who kind of she was into him, even when he was like going for Fiona. And then you could see how they kind of did end up clicking, and like he brought it to his childhood home, and that big moment happens, and you find out more about his backstory. I won't give everything because in case people do want to see it. But as they're leaving, it's like maybe we should get out of here. And then he puts the knife down. Like you had no idea he was about to do that, but when you saw it, like oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, here's something else that you might have missed in the very beginning, and it's showing how unstable Jerry really is. Did anybody else notice the pepperoni pizza with the heart-shaped piece of pepperoni on it?
Yep. And he ate it after he talked to Fiona, the girl that he liked.
That's right, Jerry. I was right from the beginning. That bitch was never into you. She was banging all kinds of hoodlums and everything over in England. You're nothing, Jerry. She doesn't want you, Jerry.
He ate her heart like a shark, is what you're trying to say.
Hey, Bone, thanks for coming. It's awesome to have you here.
Bones, good to see you. I'd like to gnaw on you later.
Lion Ratton, good to see you.
What's up, buddy? Oh, yeah. But this movie was good on so many levels. It's very, very dark. But given that view, I mean, and normally it's like that's not something I'm usually on board with. Like it's almost like glorifying like the really screwed up individual. But in this case, I mean, I thought it worked really well. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, me too. Bone says he's never seen this movie. I recommend it. It was recommended to me by our good friend Tommy, the guinea pig daddy, and this was a good recommendation. This is a good movie. It's not a typical Ryan Reynolds movie. You don't. No. You don't see this isn't Deadpool.
Yeah.
You can really see that he has more acting ability than just being, Ryan Reynolds basically. And the way that this movie was done, it's just it's done really well. It really delves into his psychopathy, but it's done in such a creative and like well thought out way.
Mhm.
I can't recommend this enough. Such a great movie.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
Mr. Pulp Noir, thanks for being here. No problem that you're late. Just glad that you're here.
yep.
You're never
And-
late. You arrived exactly when you're meant to, buddy. We're glad you're here.
That's right. And I was just gonna say, yeah, and in case you're just coming in now, and if you haven't seen the film, Trina said that you could find it on Tubi for
Yeah.
free.
I
So,
think it's expires soon, so if you do see it, do it within the week. I think because it's off of there in like 7 days. I think.
oh wow.
Oh,
when I
okay.
watched. So,
Yeah, because with Tubi, they don't keep some movies for very long, and then with some others they keep them for quite a while. It's kind of random. But
Mhm.
Sigma Centurion, welcome to the channel. This was a great movie.
Well, who am I going to need to go and kill to keep it on Tubi?
Yeah, if I would recommend go get this on DVD or Blu-ray, whatever you want. This is worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Physical media is king.
Yeah,
Always.
100%. We reviewed a movie, what, a month and a half ago or something. We did the Fright Night.
Frightmare?
No. Wait, did we do Fright Night yet?
No,
we did
we
Frightmare.
The original Frightmare was available on Tubi for like a day. Well, it seemed like it. It was obviously more than that, but it seemed like a day, and I wanted to do that, and then it was gone off Tubi.
Fright Night.
Yeah, Fright Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know I ended up seeing the remake because we were gonna cover it or something. Like I thought we did, but I guess my mind's playing tricks on me. But I ended up finding it just a couple days ago. Best Buy had it on sale for like $5. I'm like, oh my god! See, that's what you do. If you find a good movie, something you enjoy, you could, especially if you can find it for cheap, just grab it, buy it.
Yeah.
If anybody, it's okay. If your mind's playing tricks on you, I'm here for you.
Thank you so much, buddy. Jerry, don't kill a dog. He's actually pretty nice. Oh shit!
But
Yeah,
you know, one of the other things I want to mention early on, you kind of get it, some of the how out of touch Jerry really is, especially when Lisa is hitting on him, and he's just completely unaware of it. And there was one other thing, and it leads into Vinny's favorite scene when he's sitting there with the therapist. And they're talking about his mother, and his mother said that she called the voices angels. And this is why I think he came up with that, you know, the 4 angels, and what's the one that everybody forgets?
Yeah,
That's right.
that
Ooh,
was good.
Yeah, good point. That's a good point, Tommy. I didn't think of that when I was watching it, but she probably did talk about the angel names and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean that's just so much brilliant writing in there. Just again, and just how it was performed. Like you said, he missed every one of her signals, but why? He was fixated on Fiona completely. And it's when she was out of the way, then it's like he kind of, you know, he's like, he opened up more to her easily, and how she was hitting on him, and then they just, you know, again, he wasn't really pursuing her. It was she was pursuing him, and then he just like, okay, well, no one else is here. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, well, screw it. And, you know, Fiona needed a pal, so. But then he stopped himself because of kind of like he got that affection and everything, and then even that scene though, I gotta say, like when she gets Allison to give her the address, and like that whole moment, it's like you don't want it to happen, you really don't, and it's like, and it was so twisted because all the time that he took when he locked himself out and he climbed up on the top, and it's like, all right, she got in, she didn't notice things right away, but then when she started to, she's like, oh shit, and he's just staring at her from up top, like because he was trying to fight whether or not he was going to do it.
Yeah, because you could see it on his face. He was like, no, why did she have to see it?
But it was no, but it was also like, I kind of wanted her to see it. Like, I got both things out of it because he waited so long. He didn't just come down, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, Oh, no, our good friend Pope Noir. If the FBI is there, just do the right thing and just lay down. Just lay down like Jerry did. It'll be okay.
It was nuts. But even like how her scene kind of went too, it's like holy shit.
and this was also unique because he's a serial killer, but every time he killed somebody, he felt bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you even seen the sheriff in the TV like he was talking directly at him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
yeah,
And then when he went to go talk to his psychologist about it, he's crying and he's like, 4 people that were alive are no longer alive because of me, and I feel really bad about it. Like that level of remorse is not. It was surprising to see that.
Well, what about right before that? After he kills Lisa and he gets drunk.
Oh yeah.
And then you fully see him talking to himself.
Yeah,
in
and
all
even
3 voices.
Yep. That was wild. That was really wild. He's drinking the alcohol and you see him mouth Bosco's voice and it's like, whoa, that was weird to see. But you knew it was him doing the voices the whole time.
Yep.
That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. Even that whole moment too with Fiona's spoiler alert in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
when they're like, Jetty, throw out those pills. Don't take those pills. And Fiona's going, take those pills. Look what you did to me. And then after he takes them and all the voices went away and he saw what was in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Then he's like, and he dumped everything.
Yep.
And then the next time you see that moment, she's all, I'm so glad that you got rid of those. Oh, and then like he was completely in insane mode.
Yeah. It was so well done. He takes the pills, everything is bleak, and even Mr. Whiskers warns him, if you take those pills, everything is going to be such a bleak and dark existence and stuff.
You're gonna be all alone, Jetty.
Yeah.
Jetty?
And then he takes the pills and he's looking at the Bosco and Mr. Whiskers and he's like, say something. Come on, don't leave me alone. Say something. Like that was, wow. That was, and then he sees the head, what it really looks like. And he's like, and then when he wakes up the next day or whenever it was, he's like, oh, you smell, before you really smelled awful, but now you smell nice, like baby shampoo.
Yeah. And then he's feeding her.
Yeah.
His cornflakes.
Did you notice there was also a little bit of a innuendo of like a Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs with the butterflies, especially around Fiona, around her corpse in the woods, and how clean and pristine she looked just laying there. Come on, man, a completely white outfit in the dirt like that. Did you notice she had a ringlet of flowers around her head too?
Oh yeah. And there was, again, from what had happened after that first initial oops to stab, and you didn't see all that. Basically, then he had to move the body, and then when the camera panned down, and you just see like all the guts all over the grass, and then the shoe that he left behind as well. It's like, oh wow, this guy he's so far gone.
It wasn't his fault, Vinny. He slipped and he fell and put the knife in her. Kind of like some of those people on that island.
You silly dog. Of course he did it. Come on now. He had to have done it. That bitch was never going to put out. She was afraid of him. Jerry, I said kill her, bitch.
Shut up, cat.
Dog, why don't you go get hit by a car?
It's a minivan, you dumb bastard.
A car, a minivan, and your mother. I don't care. Jerry, just keep killing.
Oh, this is great.
No. It was, that was insane. Holy shit.
Wish I was good at voices like that.
I know, right?
You just got to learn to listen to them.
I hear voices all day long. I try to fight them. I'm taking my pills every day. No, I'm not taking them at all. I lied.
Yeah, a couple times I heard some voices, but a couple shots of Splenda and they were all gone.
I've got boxes lined up to the ceiling, but they're all toys. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Oh,
They're not
dude.
filled with human remains. I promise.
Yeah, imagine if they were all NECA toys. That would be awesome. Tommy's like, yeah, you know what? I have him beat.
I got way too many damn NECA toys back there. I've got so many I can't even put them in crates anymore. It's getting
Oh.
absurd.
I still want that Dracula and that Invisible Man.
Yeah, they look good. They look good.
I'm trying to figure out what number 4 that Predator 2 is line. No, I don't want to get into that. We're not supposed to be talking about that. We're supposed to be talking about this.
Yeah,
Right, that's
you're
right.
right. You're right.
But you know what? The NECA toys in my head are talking to me, so I'm on the right panel for this.
So,
Yeah.
Draven, was there any part that really stood out to you that you want to talk about?
I liked when he was like talking to him and stuff, and then like he said when he stopped taking the medication and that morning or whatever, and he's like eating the crunchies or whatever he called them
Mhm.
with her, and then she's like, "Oh, I want some," and then like fed them to her, which
Yeah.
is really weird, but. And I was glad that they didn't really show him like killing them, like other than Fiona,
Mhm.
and they just did like the chop like noise because you knew that's what he was planning on
Yeah.
doing. And then just threw the heads in the fridge.
Yeah, I agree because
Mhm.
yeah, if you
well,
don't-
we did see him kill Lisa, but in a way, but
yeah,
Mhm.
and it looked like he had to have strangled her because of the what do they call that patella that winds up in the eye when it goes red.
Mhm.
petechial hemorrhage.
hmm
Well, it was the head being from the when you get that
She
hit.
sma-
Yeah,
yeah,
the head and the spine. That's what she couldn't move at all either.
yeah,
Because it's that like she was dying at that moment. It was a
Mhm.
slower death, and she couldn't do anything. She couldn't react because her body was practically
Mhm.
paralyzed. But
yeah.
that was scary. The whole like the way that they did it though, I think was good because they made it look like it was almost accidental.
Mhm.
Every time they panned the camera away, so you would never see the full grotesqueness of it
Yeah.
until you got to like you saw all the Tupperware things
Mhm.
lined
Mhm.
up on his shelf, and it was like, holy shit, this guy's a complete psycho. Like, what is he
Yeah.
doing with all the Tupperware now? But
It kind of seemed like he was feeding it to the dog. But-
yeah,
I
I was
know.
getting that.
No, because they actually show him opening up
The
cans of
food.
dog food.
The
Oh
dog
yeah,
food,
yeah,
yeah.
they do, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you also.
because
But he
yeah,
kept
because
I'm sorry.
yeah, because I when they were first showing all those containers, I was like, what is he gonna do with all those? And I was thinking, well, he could feed the dog and the cat, I guess. They would
Yeah.
eat it.
I was
Mhm.
hoping that he wouldn't.
I
But-
know.
But sadly, I mean, and this is disturbing. Some of the fecal matter had like hair in it.
Yeah.
So I think that it was both. I think when he comes home, he was giving the dog food, but it could have also been in his mind as well that he could have been giving them the dog food and the cat food. It could have been just that the Tupperware was actually he was feeding the pets. It could have been the way that they laid it out because again, his brain was so scrambled. I don't want to see it that way, but it's possible. You
Oh,
know?
that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the only time we see him opening up the dog food and the cat food is through his kind of like
nice
non-reality eyes.
Yes, because when he did take the pills, you saw how much shit was stacked up in his apartment. But
Yeah.
when he was off of the pills, everything looked clean and kind of pristine. He only had a
Yeah.
couple of boxes here or there, and they were like the pizza ones. But
Well, no, didn't most of the stacks that were sitting there were all shrink wrap pizza boxes.
Mhm. Yeah, there was that. But he had the smaller ones too that were like near the door. I mean, you could even
Yeah.
see him in this scene right here.
I think that was probably from that Chinese restaurant that he was going to, because obviously he must have went there quite often because he knew about the shows.
It's possible too. I see. I'll watch it again for sure. Again, there's so much that out of these type of movies, like once you already know what's kind of going on, then you could start to spot out even more things, and you know,
Yeah.
like Trina was saying, she was making notes, you know, after she was watching it a couple times.
Mhm.
You're right. There's an awful lot to unpack, just like all those Tupperware containers.
That's right, Tommy. I mean, I gotta say, we were eating people. I gotta say that. I believe we were. Jerry wasn't told.
I don't think so. I'm a good boy. I wouldn't eat somebody.
No, not on purpose, dog. But when you're hungry and you're a dog and there's meat there, you're gonna eat it.
I ain't eating nobody's meat. I'll let the gay frogs do that.
Jerry, you're right. The frogs are gay. But anyway, no, yeah, this movie was insane. And it's something too, like the way that they did it. It's almost like you didn't want it to be true. You didn't want him to be a serial killer because you feel so bad for him. Because
Yeah.
how it all happens, it's not his fault. Well, it wasn't his fault. It's what his mother made him do. The abuse that he was getting from the father as well. And
Well,
then
was
they
that the father or was that just the boyfriend?
Or
'Cause
the-
I
or
thought because the father just kind of like is gone out of the equation. That was one of the boyfriends or something because
I
he was
thought that
going.
was
He
the
was
dad.
going.
I thought it was the dad that was abusive to him.
Yeah,
And then he
Yeah,
went
'cause-
off to the army, and then I think got
Yeah,
killed in the army.
Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause
Um,
he had left them.
Well, I
don't
think
know.
no, I think that's where part of his psychosis starts is when the dad is gone, and that's why he creates his first imaginary friend, which is the sock puppet.
Well, who's to say, really? Because
Mm-hmm.
his mother already had that sickness, and
Mhm.
that is genetic.
Yeah, because what I'm assuming was the father, because he said it. He goes, "Why are you?" He was yelling at the mother as well. This is your fault. This is because you got all this shit too, or you're hearing these things.
Yeah.
And then he went off on the sock puppet thing.
Mhm.
But
So
he-
I
Yeah, because well, it could be both. Because okay, so his mother has this condition which she could have passed on to his son, genetics, and then also the nature versus nurture. It could be a little bit of both because the guy, whether it was her husband or boyfriend or whoever it was very abusive to him.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then he kind of retreats into his shell and has his sock puppet friends who he gives voices to, and then that guy, whoever he was, boyfriend, dad, whatever, is saying, that's not real, it's just a puppet, what the heck is wrong with you, and stuff. So yeah, we really don't know the genesis of his condition.
yeah.
We just
It's,
know they went to a psych thing after. I'm assuming his mom died.
Yeah, because remember when they were like coming for her, like for some reason the cops were coming for her, and we don't know why.
Yeah.
She kills, like she slashes her neck, and then she's like, Jerry, finish it. You have to finish it. So he finishes her.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the fourth person, right?
From that point,
Yeah.
Because he kills Fiona, Lisa, and Allison.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The mother would be the fourth person.
Mhm.
But the way that it's that I mean, from the police, what the police were saying on TV, and he was talking to them, that they said it was multiple deaths. And at the time, I believe it was. Lisa wasn't there yet, right? At that point.
Well, when the very first report that they
Right.
have, it was nothing but Fiona.
Right. And that's another thing. When that report came on the TV and the sheriff is saying we're looking for a serial killer, I'm thinking, why are they looking for a serial killer if all we know so far is that he's only killed Fiona?
Mhm.
Wait,
Because usually only a serial killer will remove a corpse like that.
Right, but hold on
I
a
don't
second.
know.
No,
I don't
hold on
know.
a second, because there's something else that they said during that report as well, and he said that there were other bodies, that there were other people that were missing. They made mention of that at one point during that. So I think it was, I don't know, I think there was an assumption that he might have killed more people than that.
So he didn't even realize that he had killed that many people.
I think so.
So he really was just sick.
Oh, completely.
Because
it's a sad movie.
yeah.
It really is, but the way that they approached it was, I don't know, I think they did a really good job. I've never seen a movie like this before.
Yeah, this was so well done.
It really was. I mean, Tommy, thank you for really pointing this one out.
Now, like
Yeah.
I said, I caught this one totally by accident, and I would have never seen this if I just didn't happen to be driving back to Florida,
Yeah.
and we stopped off at a hotel and caught it, and it was just
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, because
It was what do they call it? It's called fate.
right. But well,
Yeah.
It was fate, Jerry. We were destined to see this one.
that's right, Tommy. It was fate. But like they didn't glorify it. That's the thing that I like about it too. They didn't glorify what he was doing, and they made him sympathetic. And even that part too, like when he's got the shrink and he goes, we got to get out of here, and he's got her sitting on the car, and he's like, we don't have much time, and like she broke it all down. He goes, that was like 10, 15 years of therapy all wrapped up in like less than 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
like you bitch.
I know, seriously, like you could have had him fixed a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that's like the only moment where it was like a real like Ryan Reynolds moment, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, what the hell?
I know, seriously. That was so good. And I was so glad that he didn't kill her.
Yeah, yeah. Because
the whole ending too, like where everything's on fire or whatever, and he like looks up as kind of like, is he like going to the gates of hell or what? Like, and he has that like decision to like run or stay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was well done as well, because I was sitting there thinking like, okay, how is this going to end? Is he going to like run for it and make it out? And,
you got more work to do, Jerry. Get out of there.
Yeah, and Bosco's like no.
Just lay down, buddy. You've done enough. It's time for it to end.
Hey, Jer. Hey, Jer. Remember when I said you were a good person? Yeah, I was wrong. You're really, really bad. Oh, that moment.
There's nothing left for you here, Jerry.
Yeah.
Just ended.
That's it. Come over to the dark side, Jerry. We'll just keep killing everywhere. They all deserve it.
Yeah, we just sing a happy song.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Oh, when Allison came to the door, I'm like, oh no. Like, I felt so bad for her. And he's like, well, what do we do? And then you just see her head in that next scene. Oh,
I don't think he wanted to kill Lisa, because now that I'm thinking about it, when she came to the apartment, he closed the door behind him, remember? And he got locked out.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, just like he's trying whatever he can do to like just get her to leave and go home.
Right. But then, like I said, though, I think there was that. It was the same thing. It was like the dog on one shoulder, the cat on the other, because he spent too much time on the roof, and then he just watched her. He was like observing her, what her reaction would be and what to do at that point. And then like when he went back down and she was trying to get out of there, and she had to run away and ran into that, with the sliding little piece, and he went in there. He's, I'm coming in. Like, you could see already he had every intent on killing her at that moment, but he wanted to be humane about it. And then, like, again, even when he saw what he did, and he just laid beside her like that until she died. Like, I'm like, oh my God, that was really, really just sad and heartbreaking all around, because it's like he's never going to be able to get help. But I knew it early on that he wasn't going to make it. I mean, because again, if he made it, that would be glorifying him, and that would be the wrong message all around. So, but doing like that ending there that Draven was showing, like, yeah, he was sick, he was broken, but it wasn't fully himself. I mean, he wasn't responsible. It's the actions that happened when he was a kid and what his mom and his dad ended up putting on him. And I think that's why they gave him that, that sing a happy song ending.
Yeah,
because it's like he needed to move on, and that way he'll never hurt anyone again. And at the same time, it's like, okay, he has his whatever you want to call it, what's the word I'm looking for? Not his paradise, but his whatever his. Not, it's not his. He's not in purgatory. He's not. I wouldn't really say heaven either, but they did it in a very neutral way where he's okay. And
yeah, it's like he's just resting in peace.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, it's not purgatory. It's not hell. It's not even heaven. It's just like he's content type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was good. I like how as he's laying down, and like just kind of like letting it happen. the cat, Mr. Whiskers and Bosco go off in different directions, and then it's just over.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, they all died. I mean, the dog got hit by a van. The cat blew up with him in there.
Yeah, and then like he even tries to apologize to Fiona and them.
No,
Yeah,
no.
like-
Didn't the cop say they removed the cat?
Oh, did they?
I don't know.
They did? I thought he was still talking to the cat when he was in the bathroom. No, didn't he pick up the cat and he went to the bathroom?
No,
and
they
then-
found the cat. They got the cat.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw 4 Hatchet movies right after this. So
No.
Well, I think the thing as far as the pets are concerned, we don't really know what happened to them because obviously there was a bit of animosity between the cat and the dog, being polar opposites of the spectrum, one being good and one, insinuating evil for Jerry to do. So I think the idea at the end when you see it, it's not that they're actually dead, but those voices in Jerry's head are dying and they're gone because he's dying. And I think that is the last hurrah before he dies, because right after that they cut to him coming into the screen, because right before that, remember, he's lying on the ground and you see his eyes dilate real wide, meaning he's going.
Mhm.
And that's when you get that little scene of the two voices. Well, we're going to go our separate ways, and that's the cat and the dog, meaning those voices are dead and gone, and now it's just Jerry actually.
Mhm. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, evil dies tonight. You're right.
Hmm.
You know what they could do? I mean, technically, they could still make a sequel if, because it's technically he didn't necessarily blow up. It was the gas that took him out, and everything was catching on fire. They could have a moment. I mean, this is a stretch, but had it done well, they could have had him snap out of it, or he woke up before he completely, or even someone could have saved him, and then he's in the hospital, and then he's free.
Yeah, they resuscitate him.
Yeah, I mean, they could have, to be honest, and then have a whole other series of insane shit that could have happened with this character.
There was a wiki fan thing that I seen that it was like a fan, what they would do for a sequel.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it again.
Now, I personally think that this was done so well it doesn't need a sequel. I think this is absolutely perfect as a standalone.
Yes.
I agree. I
I
agree.
agree too.
But it was
Don't,
just a
don't mess with a
hypothetical.
good thing.
Yeah.
And you were talking about mental derangements and the psychosis and everything. As far as those type of movies that have that kind of stuff built into them, and some of them are a little bit leaning more towards the drama stuff, I felt that this was done a lot better than they did with the psychosis that the character has in the Joker.
I enjoyed them
yeah.
both. I enjoyed them both, and I respect both ways of handling it. I'll say that. Because this one, they wanted you to be more sympathetic towards the character, but the other one is more like we were just kind of watching and seeing the breakdown of a character. From this was more again, those accidental type deaths. Those he was hesitant. It wasn't really, but in actuality, it was him doing it, and he had to keep doing it. So I mean, I that's why I said the approach was a little bit different, like you said. But I do appreciate both ways of how they handled them.
I can definitely see the parallels, what
yeah.
Tommy's saying.
Mhm.
Because with the Joker, they explain in the Joker movie, they're explaining how he has that mental disorder where he has laughs inappropriately, and I can't remember the name of the disorder now, but he's a vet and he's not getting the proper treatment, and they're going to be cutting off even his therapy and stuff. He was a very sympathetic character in that movie, and then he just kind of goes off the deep end at the end, and then in this movie you just kind of follow him along in his psychosis, but it's done in a way where it's kind of like a trip, and you see that he's a damaged individual and you feel bad for him, and it's kind of the same way. You feel bad for both characters. It's just that the way that it ends up is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, isn't it interesting though? I mean, there's kind of like the psychological breakdown of these characters and just how audience react to them.
Yeah.
It's something else. But yeah,
So-
you definitely need like good writers and people who have a kind of background in that stuff. Because I mean, like I was talking to Chris about this not too long ago, and he said too, because that was a really sad movie. I'm like, it is, but again, in the approach that they did it, they were still able to make it entertaining, and you were almost rooting for him not to get caught. But then it was like at a point where I'm like, oh yeah, this is just, it has to end badly.
Yeah, it's like, well, first I want to say, hey Frankie, thanks for coming by.
Hey Frank.
Yeah, like, yeah, you're rooting for him, and like you just want him to get help the whole time, because like he is this character where it's like it's he's not completely, it's like it's not black and white, like it's not. Yeah, there's like a really a big gray area with this character. It's so well written. It's so well written.
I tried to help him, but he didn't want to listen.
So the plot for the sequel or whatever, the fan sequel, is Jerry and Fiona's orphan son, his name's Alex, has a crush on a girl at his school, Julia. But like his late father, before him, he struggles with schizophrenia and doesn't know whether to let Julia live or not. And then later it has it was revealed that prior to their dates in the original film, Jerry and Fiona actually slept with each other at Jerry's house, and Fiona gave birth to Alex before her death. But
that's really stretching.
That is stretching it. It is very stretching it.
I hate when those they always do some kind of shipping thing, and it drives me crazy because that's basically what that was.
Yep.
Like, oh my god, he should have been with Fiona. Well, we're gonna come up with a fan fiction about that. Like, people are insane. It's the same ones that put the Winchesters together. It's crazy.
Well, if he was going to end up with anyone, it would have been because what? Wait, you know what? That reminds me. Were him and Lisa like together for a night?
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they were.
It would have made more sense with her.
Well, that's why she got the address and everything. Because she's like, oh, we're boyfriend and girlfriend now. Like, I'm gonna go surprise him.
Yeah, because he stayed at her house that night.
Yeah. Instead of taking her out in his old family home. She brought him. He brought her back to her place.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure if like he was just imagining it, like because in this movie, like sometimes you're wondering, did that really happen, or you know what I mean? Like, and
that's why he's staring out the window, and he's like, "This did not happen the way I. Whole night, the whole night did not happen the way he thought it was going to happen because he didn't expect to not be alone. Because he turns to her and say, "I don't feel alone."
Yep,
that's right.
And that's why at that point, like you are kind of rooting for him, but you know, it's not going to be good.
Yeah,
it was screwed up because you know it, and that's part of it too. Because if he isn't like a secret serial killer, basically, like if like that news report didn't come on, or whether or not part of that was in his imagination, just because he felt the guilt of the Fiona situation. Had he gone with Lisa from the beginning, like it would have turned out completely different is what I feel, or the direction they were aiming with.
I don't know. I thought, I was thinking about that and wondering, could this have gone different? And I don't think it could have, because I think he was already like, I think he was already cooked.
Oh yeah, he was definitely cooked already. But like that's what I mean. It's like because the way that they presented it to us was that it was just like Fiona was the first one, and then later you find out his mother, but it wasn't necessarily that. Because like again, when the reports came on the news, it's like there are other bodies that were missing, and then like you see the rest of his apartment when he's on the medication.
Yeah.
And there's more going on in there. It's not just garbage that's there and dog shit and cat shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's been killing for a while. That's why there's all the extra Tupperware and and stuff.
And see, this is the other point I was going to make too. I was curious if they were going to show when he went down to the bowling alley, if you were going to see a whole bunch of other bodies down there.
Yeah, I was wondering what was down there as well.
Yeah. because they didn't have a lot of shots where you saw too much of the bowling alley. It was just kind of like one specific one right before he kind of falls down. Yeah, I don't know. I think they did an excellent job. Like they still.
Well,
kept these
I don't know
materials.
because I really don't remember them saying multiple bodies. The only thing I remember is the reporter asking the sheriff, "Do you think this is going to happen again?" And he says, "This looks like the work of a serial killer, and I would say this is definitely there's going to be more murders." That's what I remember. I don't remember them actually saying there was more than one body.
I just remember him saying that we're looking for a serial killer, and I don't think that they would say that if they just found one body, no matter how badly, stabbed and hidden and everything it was. I just don't think they'd say that.
I definitely want to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
Especially that.
Yeah,
part.
I mean, you never know because I've talked about that a few times, Vinny. You could watch a movie 20 times, and there might be something that you missed out of those other 20 times that pops up. And I cannot remember what it was. There was a movie that happened to me pretty recently. I watched that movie God knows how many times, and I watched it again, and there was something I just never noticed in all the other viewings that just popped out. Like, holy shit, I never seen that part before. How did I miss that?
Yeah.
So there's always something that you wind up missing in all those movies.
Why it stuck out to me too, because I remember thinking at a part in the movie where, like after that happened, I'm like, oh, so wait a minute, because like he saw him too, like the sheriff saw him when he was repairing the window and all that, or he and her body was still back there, which was even more twisted. But because I'm going like, because they said again, that's what I remember hearing, that there were other bodies missing in the area, and then they went into that. Of we believe it's a serial killer, and then he turned to the camera and all that. But because I was thinking in my head, well, like what else would turn up? Like, and that's why I was thinking, like, are they going to show the bowling alley? Is that where he put other bodies? Like, that's why like my train of thought was starting to go into that pattern. It's because hearing or what I thought I heard. I mean, again, I got to rewatch that for sure.
Or maybe the bowling alley is where he found his other victims.
That's possible too.
Was it because we don't know if that bowling alley was operational. I'm assuming it was because the light was working and all that stuff, but we don't really know.
We couldn't really tell properly either because they had all of the there was all the smoke and fire, and you couldn't really make out if there was it was covered in dust and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it looks like it was sealed off because that was his place, and that's why he had his apartment on the upstairs part. And there were no other cars. Like he was away from everything. Yeah, he lived. Yeah, he was secluded.
Yeah, but we don't know if the bowling alley was operational.
Were there other cars in that parking lot other than his truck?
Yeah, I think there were. It
was later. Because it was Lisa's car, then it was Allison's car, and then it was the two guys from work who came to go check on them.
Maybe.
Yeah, because then he had put them to the side. Because when Allison got there, she saw Lisa's car was there, and then that's why he took care of her. And then when he went to go to the shrink, that's when the other two went to his house. And then you saw those cars weren't in the front anymore; they were to the side, and he had a tarp over them. And the one guy, when he went to go look, he saw he lifted the tarp first, and you saw it was Lisa's car, which was the red one, I believe. And then he went to go knock on the door or whatever, and then he came running down, throwing up and everything.
Okay. So I just want to clarify one thing. I was right. The guy who was abusive to him was his stepfather.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, stepfather.
Which,
right.
yeah, it'll make sense that way too. Either way, I mean, you have a father figure who's beating him up and everything else.
Yeah. Whoever it was definitely abusive to him and his mom.
Yeah. No, this was great. I mean, yeah, it's dark, it's screwed up, but they did an excellent job.
Yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, mine would be high up there too, somewhere around there.
Same.
Sure.
So,
Tommy, what about you, Tommy? What would you give it?
I would say this is definitely the best thing that I've ever been in. I'm a good boy. I wish Jerry would have been a good boy too. But that damn Mr. Whiskers ruined everything.
Mr. Whiskers is a hero. He should have done it in New Jersey. That's all I'm saying.
What would you
I
rate
would-
it, Tommy?
I would definitely say, I would definitely say this is a 10 out of 10 for me because
Nice.
this one caught me completely by surprise.
Mhm.
Like I said, when I was traveling and stopped at a hotel, and it's so rare that a movie can actually catch me by surprise like the way this one did. And I'd never heard about it before. I went into this one completely blind, like you guys did when I first seen it, and I was just blown away by how good it was because it was a completely different take on the psychosis of a killer and what's going on with them. Because besides mentioning the Joker one, we've seen these type of movies before with Alfred Hitchcock and Norman Bates, and the mental derangement that character went through of what was it, like 3-4 movies? Because the last one was something like The Beginning or something. I think that was part 4, if I remember correctly, or was that part 3? I forget exactly. But we've seen these type of derangements before, but the way it was handled in this one was a lot different because we never really see it really from the killer's point of view.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought was interesting. Like, you're seeing the complete mental derangement of this guy, how everything is picturesque and perfect for him in this world until he takes the medication and he's hit with a dose of reality and then he can't take it.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure. Oh, one thing I want to say, anyone, if you're going to watch this again, like Draven said too, try to do it this week because it looks like they're going to take it off of Tubi. But don't watch any trailers. Just go into the movie blind because I think that you're going to get the best experience out of that. The way that they kind of it unfolded. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't want it to be kind of that view kind of twisted in any way either. Just like watch it like how Jerry's kind of breaking down and in the moments that happen. You'll get more out of it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I like I said earlier in the beginning of the stream, I absolutely recommend this. I'm going to be buying it. That's how much I liked it. And Tommy, thank you so much for recommending this. And I'm so glad we reviewed this tonight. It's awesome.
I was just doing what I was supposed to do, and I was being a good boy.
So I guess is there anything else that anybody wants to add? Draven, do you want to add anything else?
I'd say like when I first saw it, like I didn't think he was actually killing people. And then like as it obviously unfolds, you realize that he is actually killing people. I thought a lot of it was just in his head, and then he was just thinking that that's what happened. But yeah,
that's a good point. You do get kind of a curveball in the beginning. It's like we said, this is a really well done movie, really really well written. The creative process that went in this, top notch.
It was just a rant. It was on Netflix, I think, when it came out, and that's where I first saw it. So,
but Bones a good boy. Bones got it in the chat right underneath that.
Yep, it's the Voices. It's the one with there's a few Voices movies out there. It's the one with Ryan Reynolds in it, and right now it's free to watch on Tubi.
Here you go. I dropped the link for everyone. There's the link on Tubi.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much for that, Vinny. There you go, guys. Yes.
Jump on it. It was
Squib
fantastic.
Nation representing.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
Squibs is a good boy, too.
That's right. He's fantastic. King of Squibs told me to murder a lot of people. But you know what? I sometimes we have to listen to the King of Squibs. I don't know.
All right, so I guess we'll wrap up now. Draven, you want to tell everybody where to find you and what you got going on?
Yeah, you can find me here on YouTube, and then tonight at 10:30 after Holy Shit News, we'll be watching tonight's episode of Dynamite. Should be good card. We got a tag team battle royale tonight, and we get to hear from Bryan Danielson. As well, and some other things, kind of basically the road to Revolution, because that's I believe next week or the week after that. So thanks for having me. Always a pleasure talking about horror movies with you.
Yeah, pleasure to have you. All right, Benny, your turn.
You could tune in on Fridays over on my channel. We do Friday Underground over there. Talk about a whole bunch of different things. Sundays is the round table. Usually, I try to find a topic or something we could all kind of bounce off of and kind of give our views on. But either way, we have a good time. And sometimes on Thursdays, I host the Collectible Pass with us three guineas. But if it's not on my channel, it's usually on Tommy's channel. We go back and forth now, and it's awesome. We talk about some cool stuff, things we collect, things we enjoy. But also, we have some great comic books out there. So if you're looking for some excellent stuff, we have City of Venus, Through the Woods, Shadow of the Kraken. All these books ship immediately. You don't have to wait. It's a good thing. And I am working on City of Venus 2 at the moment. So yeah, it's all about quality and having a good time with great people. So hell yeah. Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast. I always love talking about these movies and all sorts of cool stuff. And yeah, remember, watch the movie. We dropped the link out there. Jump on it, people. You're going to love it.
Awesome.
Watch the movie. Watch the movie and buy the books, or we're gonna kill you.
All right, Tommy. Tell everybody where to find you.
I'm a good boy, and I run a good channel with guinea pigs, doing battle bots, and reviewing toys, having fun. The good stuff that doesn't get you in trouble for murder. Stop by and check it out. Do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody in the chat for showing up. Thank you everybody who watches this on the replay. I really appreciate it. And of course, thank you to my awesome panel. You guys are awesome for being here and putting up with my horror fetish, I guess. Anyways, everybody have a great night, and we'll see you next week. And yeah, be checking out my channel for toy reviews. And yeah, so everybody have a good one.
Oh yeah.